Hello, this is not a landscape photography vlog, okay? People get upset when I do things that aren't landscape photography vlogs. This is not one. This is about product photography. This is Kelly.
Hello.
Kelly's a model, and there's a long-winded story to this, but it all makes sense. So what I've got here is a glass called the Norlan glass. This was something that was started on Kickstarter about 4 years ago, and I backed it, and I got two glasses, which is why I've got two here. And they are meant to be very good for, well, they're whiskey drinking glasses. The aroma comes out of them particularly well, and it makes the whiskey taste better. But I hadn't used them for ages. I've been trying to teach myself to like whiskey, and I haven't got there yet, but I'm getting there. I keep asking for bottles for Christmas. Incidentally, this is not a jar of piss, but you know, I'll get to that in a second. So for my most recent birthday, I got this bottle of Glengoyne, I know them so well, 10-year-old whiskey, which was a recommendation by Wadgercatcher, or Adam Russell. Thank you for that, Adam. So we talked for an inordinately long time about what sort of bottle I should get, and the colour of it, and whether it was peaty, whether it was smoky, whether it should be drunk from this glass at all, which is not true for all whiskies, I can tell you. And yeah, so this is the one we went for. Thank you to my wife for giving it to me for my birthday last week. And so I wanted to get, I've been shooting with Kelly all day today at my house. We're in my house, this is my lounge. One of the things that I wanted to shoot was this kind of product shoot, which I've never done before.
Oh, nor have I.
Kelly's never done it before, which amazes me. But the idea is that I thought Norlan are a small enough company that they might actually be aware of what's going on social media. So when people start posting photos featuring their products, they may take note. Who knows? So I've got a prop. I've got a main subject. I've got a model, and I've got a whiskey. So we didn't want to waste this whiskey in the actual thing. So this is tea, which I did an experiment yesterday in making up something. It's not too bad, is it?
I think it's a good match.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a bit darker, but you know,
Yeah,
it's got darker overnight. So this was like 10 seconds of English breakfast tea, yeah. So I'm just a cameraman really for this. I've got a couple of flashlights, speed lights. God, that's what they're called. I'm a professional. And what we're going to do is I'm going to let Kelly talk about it.
So I'm going to be modelling along with two props, with this being the main prop of course, and in some of the shots as well we're going to be using the whiskey bottle, and I think we're going to do some focus on a lot of like portrait shots for this as well, so I'll be having the glass quite close to my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've kind of selected something that's quite neutral, so we've got sort of neutral autumny colours that Kelly's wearing. We've got this sort of 60s Urkel chair with a bit of beige fabric on it.
Yeah.
Beige is a horrible word. And that's what we're going to try and do. So this is the shoot.
Hope you enjoy.
What's that?
Should I have said that?
Thank you. That's fine.
Hope you enjoy.
Right, that's that.
Cool. Now what do we do?
Now we do the shoot.
Okay.
So that is recording, but you can just ignore it really. Okay, so what I thought I'd do is to watch the timeline along with you. So I've got the camera set up next to my monitor, so I can sort of tell you what's going on, because there's various things happening here that you can't really hear because, you know, it's going on in the background. All that's happening here is that the flash trigger for my camera is from my old camera, which is a Canon, and it's a Canon trigger, and it works flawlessly with Canons, but it doesn't. But it only works on a basic level with Sony's. So every time I begin a shoot, I have to use manual settings in order to set the lights up, which means that I have to sort of take a best guess, and I need to take a shot and take another shot, etc., etc. Pretty sure these are going to be black and white.
Yeah. But you've made this a nice colour.
I know.
And they're going to put it in black and white.
It could have been literally any liquid.
It could have been.
Okay, I think it's not amazing, but I've got lights, I've got got shadow, so there's things to work with. Okay. Right, that took ages. Okay.
Got there in the end.
Yeah. I don't really know where I need to be. So if you want to use the bottle at any point, then feel free and just use it. It took me a while to realise with models. I'm quite comfortable working with models now, but it took me a while to realise that the best position is always below half height. You want to make them look taller. You want to, and by the same token, not make them look short. So we're going to run through the shots now. So nice to have a bit of fun. The trouble with this shoot is this is my first anything to do with product photography. I've never done anything even vaguely like this. I'm in my lounge, so it's kind of a slightly odd situation, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where to move anything. I don't know where to move Kelly. I don't know where to move the glass. I don't know where to move the bottle. It's difficult enough getting the lights right, but to try and think about the product, this is my favourite shot along with the next one. Because there's something about the emotion here that Kelly gives that I think works really well. And at this point I'm still trying to figure out the lights. It's difficult to know what to reposition. Can you see the shadow of her head behind her? Takes me a little while to figure out what that is, but it's not, it's the shadow from it's the continuous light. Sorry. So obviously the trouble is, because I'm making a video, I need to be seen, but that continuous light was bleeding into the shots themselves, so I had to turn it off. So this is where Kelly really gets into full flow. So if you've got a model that knows what they're doing, and Kelly clearly does, then she can give you a slightly different look for every shot. And so you have a really difficult time choosing, because everything that Kelly does is amazing. So if you get the shot correct yourself, if you get all the the settings and the positioning and whatever else correct, then you're left with an issue. And you've just got loads of shots to choose from. What I really didn't know what to do in this shoot, and I still don't really know for product photography, is it's this mix between the product and the props and the model. So obviously the glass itself is the key here. This is just out of focus, it's plain and simple. But so the depth of field is so shallow, and to make it look even vaguely interesting, I can have the model in focus or I can have the glass in focus. I can't have both in focus. And so I've kind of got to choose, and I'm not going to go to the trouble of faffing about with focus stacking with a human being there and I'm kind of sat on my knees. It's just not the best situation for that. This is where I started using presets. And I'm just kind of working my way through, and kind of this is actually the last shot, because I kind of I've taken so many shots here, and I thought there's probably something worth using there, and actually there was. Those two in the middle, I still really like them, and I've used them online. I think that's that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. All right.
Now I'm going to swig on this.
Yeah. If you really want, if you want some tea made yesterday, and yeah, I suppose I better do her. So let me know what you think. Any of those any good? I don't know. Do you think Norman will care? Like and subscribe and all that jazz. See you soon.
Bye.
That was shot months ago now. That was shot in August. I tried to compress the experience a bit because I was completely making up what I was doing in that room. For some reason, I love shooting in my house. It's got lots of interesting sort of nooks and crannies, but there's something about my lounge which I find very difficult to shoot in. I've had a couple of people in there now, and there's something about the lighting that kind of confuses me, and I haven't quite got my head around it yet. But that one with Kelly, it worked better than ones after for some reason. I quite like the images that came out of it. Obviously Kelly's amazing, but the shots that I got, a little bit iffy sometimes, but I've got a few that were worth showing to the world, and I've started to do that. And I've put one image from that shoot up on Instagram so far, and I tagged Norland, and they liked it. So, sort of got their attention for a fleeting moment. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll see you again soon.